Okay, Unit 4, Lesson 2. Learning target, I can find the slope of a line from a variety of given information. So slope is basically, last lesson we did rate of change and we put it in context of the problem. So like labels mattered, but with slope, it's just the number itself. Slope is rate of change without a label, so it's just a number. Just a number. Okay, and again, it's a ratio, so we're looking at basically fractions here. So it's the change in y over the change in x, and we typically say that that's rise over run. So finding the slope between two lines, it's kind of a simple formula. I think some of you probably could find this without the formula. Maybe you do better without the formula, but we'll give it to you if you think, boy, that's really silly. I can do without the formula. I can just figure out what was the increase. You can do that. So like if the temperature outside was 45 and it's now 58, what was the change? Well, it went up 13 degrees, right? So up 13. Well, the math way of doing that would be this is the final point, this is the beginning point, okay? So this was the, we'll say temperature 1, this was the temperature 2. You take the ending point minus beginning point, so 58 minus 45, and that would be another way of getting 13. So if I have 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, so this is the x coordinate at the first point, y coordinate at the first point, x coordinate at the second point, and so on. What is the change in each coordinate? So when we say in each coordinate, we mean what's the change in x and what's the change in y. When you answer this question, you're finding the slope. You're trying to find how much the y's change, how much did the x's change. So we always want y's on top. So how did the y's change? That means we're going to take the final y minus the beginning y. Okay, so the ending point minus the starting point, and then do the same thing with the x's. Now the biggest mistake I see with this is students forget to put the y's on top. So don't forget to put y's on top. We think x comes first, x should be on top, and it's not true. It should be y's on top. So this equals the slope. Okay, and we sometimes call that m. So slope is referred to as m when we're talking about in math, when we talk about slope. So another way of writing the formula is if you decided, so we say the ending point minus beginning point, if you decided, well, I want to switch those, that's fine as long as you switch the x's also. So you see 2's line up, 1's line up, 1's line up, 2's line up. That's fine as long as the y's are on top. It actually can work. You'll get the same answer this way. So in other words, it does not matter which point you start with, but you must be consistent. So if you're looking at a problem, you're thinking, well, which one's the first point? I gotta look at these two and say, well, which one would I say is first and which one would I say is last? Well, some people say, well, maybe this is first and they gave me the ending point. This is last. It doesn't matter. Just be consistent with it, okay? So if I decide that this is x1, that's x2, well, if this is 1, that's going to be y1, then this is going to be y2. So just be consistent. If you decided that this would be the 2's and that'd be the 1's, that's fine. You get the same answer in the end. So if I stick with it this way, subtracting the y's on top, it'd be 8 minus 5. And then since 8 was my first, my first number I chose, I'm going to use 9 on bottom. So 9 minus 3. Now this would equal 3 over 6, which is a half. Now let's just say, for the sake of argument, somebody says, nope, I'm going to use 5 minus 8. Instead of 8 minus 5, do 5 minus 8. That's fine. If you're going to do 5 for your first y, then that means this is going to be your first x. So 3 minus 9. That'd be a negative 3 over a negative 6. What's a negative divided by negative? A positive. And then 3 over 6 is a half. You get the same answer either way. It really does not matter. So don't fret. Just pick one and go with it. Don't waste your time trying to decide which one's your first point, which one's your second point. Just do it. Okay. So here, again, I'll say x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'll do negative 8 minus 2. Since I chose negative 8 as my first y that I put in the formula, I'm going to use this as the first x in order, minus negative 3. Remember, when you minus a negative, you're going to add. So this would be negative 10 over 4. And if I do some reducing here, negative divided by a positive is a negative, and then 5 over 2. And so there's your slope. And I could do it the other way, I'm going to get the same answer, so I'm going to save the time. Here, this will be my first, and this is my second. So I'm going to do negative 25 minus 5. That means this needs to be my first x on bottom, minus 12. So this would be a negative 30 over a negative 15. A negative divided by negative is a positive. 30 divided by 15 is 2. Now, if you want to put 2 over 1, that's fine. You could also leave it as just 2. Okay. So that's when you're given 2 points. That's how you find the slope between 2 points. There will be times when they say find the slope from a table, all they're doing is they're giving you more than 1 point. So it's basically the same question. It's just extra information that you don't entirely need at all. So in this one, I'm just going to pick 2 points. Pick any 2 you want. It doesn't really matter. So just if I pick these 2 right here, or I guess let's answer the questions. How many points are given? Well, there's 4 points, 4 sets of points. How many points we need? Just 2. That's all we need. So on this one, if I'm looking at my y's, again, you can pick whatever. You can do 14 minus 18 or 18 minus 14. It's totally up to you. I'll do 18 minus 14. But if I picked 18 first, I got to do negative 3 first on bottom. Okay, 14 was second, I got to do negative 1, so minus negative 1. Make sure you're always subtracting. So even if there's a negative in there, you're going to subtract that negative and make it positive. So this would equal 4 over negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Okay, over here, same idea. It's 4 points. I just need 2. I would just pick the first 2 if I were you. Okay, so how much? Well, we can stick. So we say if this is, I'm going to go 2 first. So 2 minus negative 6, and I only did that because I wanted a positive. If I did 2 first, negative 3 is first on bottom, minus negative 9. Minus a negative is plus. So I got 2 plus 6 is 8. Negative 3 plus 9 is 6. 8 over 6 reduces to 4/3. So this would be a 4/3 slope. Okay. Now, what if I'm looking at a graph? Okay, so kind of the same idea. They're giving you the information. They're just presented in a slightly different way. So in graph 1, as you go from left to right, the line goes, so as I'm going left to right, it's going downhill. So the slope has to be negative. Okay, so that tells me when I'm done, I better have a negative slope. So if I just look at this, here's my, think vertically, how much did I change from here to here? Think about if this is water level. It was here, now it's there. My y coordinates, I dropped 2 units. So in this direction, down 2 units. Okay, and then going this way, 1, 2, 3 units. That's an increase of 3. Okay, so keep your positive and negatives. So if I've got a negative 2 over a positive 3, well, negative divided by positive is negative, and then y change goes on top, the vertical change, the horizontal change goes on bottom. In graph number 2, as you go left to right, so from left to right, the line goes uphill. So the slope of this must be positive. In this case, pick any 2 points. I'll pick these 2 points. From one point to the other, it goes up 2 units. It goes over positive 1 unit to the right. So up is positive, right's positive, down's negative, left's negative. So this is up and to the right. So this would be a 2 over 1 would be the slope. So it's a rise over run of 2. The trick questions now. Okay, what if it was a flat line, flat vertical or flat horizontal? write any 2 points from the red line. That's supposed to be this line. It's supposed to be red. You can't see it because we printed in black and white. So red is this line over here. So pick any 2 points. I'll just pick one here and one here. So just 2 random points. And find the slope. So this horizontal line, how far did I rise? Well, it went up 0 units, but in the one I chose, it went positive 5 units to the right. So it didn't go up at all, but it went to the right 5 units. Can I divide 0 by 5? Yes. Yes, you can. Now going the other direction, so green line, we'll just say that this is the green line right here. Okay, so this one, pick any 2 points. I'll pick here and here. So here's 2 points. How far did it rise? Well, how far did it go to the left or right? It didn't. It went straight up, so 0. Now, can I divide by 0? And this is, one of those things, you just got to know this. Think about a problem. If I had money and 5 friends, and I went among 5 friends, how much money does each person get? Well, if I have no money and 5 friends, they each get no money. But if I have $6, and we can all laugh here, I have no friends. If I had $6 and no friends, how much does each friend get? Well, I can't calculate that because there's no friends. So in this one, this is when we say this, there's no way to define this, so it's undefined. Defined. So again, this is undefined slope whenever. So anytime a line is vertical, it's undefined slope. Anytime it's horizontal, okay, it has slope. The slope is 0. This one doesn't have a slope. It's undefined. Okay.